let's wrap. I recently made a video. That video was called, Why Does the Bible Say That Homosexuality is a Sin? My opinion, ... A video so far in real time, 54 views, 17 comments, which is a lot, 5 thumbs up, and 2 thumbs down. So actually more people who have watched it have agreed with my assessment, my opinion on the matter. So what I want to do is I want to look at one of the comments specifically for this video and answer one of the questions that had been asked by someone in the comment section. Alex Mazon had this to say, quote, "Why don't you ever question your religion? Why do you take it all as gospel? For someone with a rational, logical, and questioning mind, I would have thought that you would have really delved into it and seen that religion is a man-made creation. Presumably, you were born into your religion and take it all as true because you learned all of it at a young age." End quote. And here's what I'm going to say to that. Yes, absolutely. This has been what I've known my whole life. And it has been my decision to continue into this faith. And yes, early on, I questioned. I remember every night my dad would read to me from the children's Bible. As far as like a bedtime story, he would read me those. And I remember asking, I was probably about 6 years old. I remember asking him, how do we know that we're right? There's all these other religions across the world. How do we know that we are right? And ultimately, I don't exactly remember what my dad said, but it's something probably to the effect of, ultimately it comes to a matter of us believing or not believing. But somebody has to be right. Not everyone can be right. And I remember him explaining to me that when we look at the fact that the world has been created, and ultimately I think that also for me, I cannot accept that the world was some accidental explosion that was not created by a creator without a purpose. I don't have the faith to believe in the Big Bang. And yes, that means officially I'm telling you that I am a young earth creationist. And it's fine if you mock me. I'm actually expecting a lot of people to mock me in the comment section just for that alone. They'll even put 229. They'll put the time that I said the thing that rocked the universe when I said that I am a young earth creationist. I am someone who believes that humans have only been on this planet for roughly 10,000 years. I believe that dinosaurs coexisted with people, but I believe that until the flood, that no one ate animals, and I believe that animals did not eat each other. When you look at the flood story and look at the details and look at what point God told them they could start eating animals, and at what point that animals would begin fearing man, you see that things were different. And from Adam to Noah, roughly 20 generations, and without birth control, arguably the world was just as populated by the time Noah was there and most of the world was destroyed with the people in it as there are living people today. Now, I get it. Go ahead and mock me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't offend me. I'm used to it. I'm part of the minority to believe that. So we've established I'm that guy. I'm that extreme. Yes, that's me. No shame. Now, with that being said, I want to go back to this comment here and let's explore this a little bit more. So back to the main question, why don't you ever question your religion? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, in theory, I question my religion every day. When you believe what I believe and you have the faith that I have, you know, having faith means you choose to believe in something that you cannot prove physically exists. I admit that I cannot physically prove to you that Christianity is real and that Jesus is the Son of God and that we were born with a sinful nature and we need to be saved. I cannot prove that to you. And honestly, I'm not interested in proving it to you, because ultimately faith is choosing to believe in something that you cannot see and prove to other people. If that were not the case, then there would not be faith. So I feel that continuing to believe in Christianity is choosing to question my religion every day. Because as long as I'm making a choice to believe by default, I'm acknowledging that there are other theories and beliefs and religions and points of views out there. but I choose that they are not for me. Now, I'm going to answer this question ultimately in a way that I don't think anyone would expect. But I've been thinking about this, and I've been looking for the right time to really make a video about this. Now, I know it's easy for any outsider to say that, okay, well, this guy, man, he's almost 40 years old and he's been brainwashed his whole life to believe in Christianity. And if that's what you believe, I accept that interpretation of who I am. It's okay. But with that being said, take away the Christianity from my brain in the way that I think. Okay? Take away politics. Take away labels. I believe I would still be the kind of person who would still be opposed to abortion. Now, abortion for me is not a political thing. It's not that, okay, if you're a Democrat, you're for abortion, and if you're a Republican, you're not. It's not that simple for me. I recognize that when babies are not aborted, it causes a reason for that many more babies. When they're not aborted, more babies are born, more babies need to be adopted. I've made a video about this. So the paradox is, a lot of Christians are against gay couples and against gay marriage. Well, ultimately, who's going to adopt those babies that weren't aborted? Gay couples. I recognize that. I realize it's complex. I totally get it. And I realize that just because something's legal or illegal does not necessarily mean it's morally right or morally wrong. I recognize all that. I remove myself from both parties arguing, fighting, and debating and trying to morally reduce each other. And I think, no, it's not about that for me. But I believe that even if I were not a Christian, I would still be opposed to abortion. And people who are pro-choice are going to say it's not a baby, it's a fetus, and that there's a difference. It doesn't become a baby until it's born. To me, that's such a technicality. To say so it can be 9 months old, it's a fetus, but until it is born, then it's a baby. My brain doesn't work that way, that technical. So for me, it is human life. And if you choose to end that fetus's existence, to me, that is ending a human life. That's my perception. Take away religion. That's my perception of it. And so knowing that it feels like if I were an atheist, that I would have to, by default, be pro-life. Because I've never met an atheist who was pro-life. They've always been pro-choice. So take away religion. I'm still a guy who I see it as definitely a wrong moral thing to end the life of, if you want to say fetus, I say baby. Either way, I see it as morally wrong. I do not want to identify with a group of people who does not see. So that's part of it. Is for me, when I look at my perception of morality, it automatically lines up with Christianity anyway. And that not only goes with abortion, it also goes with premarital sex. It also goes with homosexuality. It also goes with gossiping. It also goes with gluttony. All the sins that the Bible teaches against, ultimately, it's not a matter of, okay, God's picky and he has these list of things he doesn't like. For me, it is this. What is sin? Anything that separates us from God's plan for our lives. Anything that interferes what he would have for us. And what I realize with all these sins, ultimately, they keep us, as long as we live in these sins, they keep us distracted from what God actually wants us to. Often, we're distracted by the psychology that we never dealt with in our youth. And I keep saying that many, many times. So much bad stuff happens in people's lives when they don't deal with the trauma they had. Now, I understand people will constantly say, Nick, I don't buy that, Nick, because when I was young, and they'll tell me all the bad stuff that happened. And look, I didn't turn out bad. I didn't turn out in any of the ways you say. I didn't turn out end up being a drug addict. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not divorced. I'm not gay. Like, they'll go through all these things. I'm not depressed, because that's what I say. Typically, people who end up in one of those categories have trauma that they never really resolved before, and it shows up later in life. That's one of the things that I say. I'm not saying that happens to you, you're going to end up in one of those things. I'm saying if you do end up in one of those things, there's a likelihood that's your backstory. And for me, Christianity is about getting all that sorted out. Sorting out the psychology and getting the psychological help that you need to be who you are. Do you think that I think, let's say, alcoholic, he goes to a church service and he realizes, man, I'm throwing my life away. So then he gives his life to Christ. Do you think that I think that just automatically he's no longer addicted to alcohol? I'm not saying God couldn't do that, but what I'm saying is, within Christianity, he's going to be surrounded by people who help him sort out his issues. It's not simply that one is addicted to alcohol physically, it's that there's a hole that they're trying to fill. So for me, when I look at this idea of redemption and being able to restore it and involving psychology involved, the actual fundamental issue, Christianity makes the most sense to me. That's my answer. That's my answer. I could not believe in evolution. That's another thing. I cannot support abortion morally. I cannot support it. I cannot support evolution. I do not believe that we came from monkeys. I do not believe that. So again, please, if you need to, mock me in the comment section. It's okay. This is me being comfortable with who I am. Have I questioned my religion? Absolutely. Have I thought about, you know what? The more I talk, I bet I sound crazy to a lot of people because this isn't what's normal and acceptable in culture. Absolutely, I'm aware of that. But I've always been comfortable with that because for me, I'm not looking for people's acceptance. I don't need people's acceptance. If everyone thinks I'm an idiot and wrong and immoral, that's okay. That's okay. That's how strong my faith is. And my faith is strong because I choose my faith day after day. Yes, I question it. Yes, I know that I may be wrong. Maybe the atheists are right and that when we die, we cease to exist, our consciousness no more, and we'll never know for sure who is wrong or right because we all cease to exist. That could be a reality, just like the Matrix could be a reality. Maybe I'm just a figment of someone's imagination. Maybe I'm part of a computer program. Maybe I'm not real. Maybe this isn't really my hand, for all I know. But I choose my faith. It makes the most sense to me for things like I cannot support abortion morally. I cannot support evolution. I cannot support the sins that the Bible teaches against, including pride. I do not believe that I'm morally superior to anyone else. I believe we all were born broken and we need to be saved and redeemed and restored. So for me, absolutely I've questioned my faith, my religion, and I think it only makes me stronger and builds my faith that much more. Now, please, I give you as much space as you need to mock me here. Now's your chance to mock me. It's okay. It's impossible to offend me, hurt my feelings, insult me. Because I know who I am, and I am in Christ. Your comments belong right here.